Namaste, Jai Shivai. So this is the Samkhya Darshan, elementary elements of your creation that we were talking about. So first thing is that gets created from the three basic creation particles of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas is Buddhi or Mahat, you can say. Buddhi, intellect. Now, intellect has four different characteristics that it is going to make decisions about throughout your life. First thing is Dharma. Dharma means righteousness. Now, some religions have interpreted Dharma in some weird ways. I mean, they created just one yardstick, and they go on measuring people by that, and they call everybody non-righteous or a sinner or some other term or label has been given to us. So religion is not dharma, okay? And dharma is not religion. Dharma means righteousness, which keeps on changing according to the time, according to the era we are living in, according to the yuga we are living in, according to the place, means a country or a city that we are living in, according to the customs of the society that we are living in. So it keeps on changing according to that. In one society, it may be perfectly valid to have a polygamous relationship. In another society, it could be a sin. In some societies, it could be a completely valid thing to marry brother and sisters or to marry cousins. But in some societies, this is considered as incest. Okay? So, righteousness changes depending upon how the society has evolved, how the human population, human beings living there in a particular time, in a particular era, in a particular yuga have evolved, how things have been, what was done, what was not done. So that is what constitutes the righteousness. But if you go by some hard-coded things in the book, then everybody will be a sinner or a non-righteous person or a wrong person, no matter wherever you go. And that kind of a yardstick of righteousness is what divides human beings, is what creates hatred towards another human being. That in my custom it is this way, we learned it this way, and my way is the right way. So no, that is not how you should see the world. Righteousness changes according to the time and place and the society that people are. Okay? So Buddhi's characteristic is to go on telling you what is righteous. But always remember that whenever your Buddhi, your intellect is reminding you of what is righteous, it may be righteous only for the society that you live in, at the place that you live in the times that you are living in. It may not be the right thing for some people in past or some people in future or some people elsewhere on this planet, in some other country, right? In earlier times, killing 1,000 horses or killing an elephant used to be something that a king will give you a prize for, right? But today you try to do that. Lot of, animal rights people, environment people and whatnot kind of people, activists will be after you. So it's not a right thing. It's a crime actually now. If you try to kill elephant or a lion or some animal species that way. So it's no longer a matter of pride. So things that were righteous at some other time, at some other place may not be. So do not lose that perspective. when your intellect is trying to decide, oh, I am not doing this, this is not right, and what you are doing is wrong. No, it may not be wrong from that person's point of view, from where he comes from or she comes from, or where he or she belongs to, or what kind of society, people, country, place they might have grown up. So never lose that wider perspective. The problem comes when you think what is taught to you is the most righteous thing. That's when the problem happens. Okay? And that's when righteousness degrades itself and becomes some kind of social moral code. But then also, never ever forget that social and moral code that you have been taught by your parents, by your priest, by your churches and temples and society that you live in, by your friends, your teachers. The social moral codes that you have been taught are not going to be the same as the social moral codes that other people have learned. This is very much responsible for you either hating entire humanity or embracing it with love and understanding. Embracing the differences that other people have. Respecting the differences that other people have. Okay. So this is again Buddhi working here. Buddhi's characteristic. Buddhi decides and thinks about these things. Buddhi takes decision. Your intellect is responsible for taking decisions and telling you what is righteous and what is not. And then when it comes to non-righteous things, you may realize that actually all religions in one way or the other teach love, teach compassion, teach kindness. No religion is teaching you to go kill somebody. Right? No society teaches its children to grow up as murderers or gangsters or some bad things, some thieves and robbers. So there are some things which are righteous and they do not come under the influence of social moral codes of a place, of an era. In no era, torturing somebody is a righteous thing. Okay? In no era, in no country, neither in past nor in some time in future, it's never going to be acceptable to torture another being, not just human being. Torture any other being out of cruelty is never going to be a righteous thing to do. So there are some things which are beyond the social moral codes. Now, those things should not be taught to you. We are born with those kind of things, except some crazy minds, right? Then second thing is wisdom, jnana. Now, when this gets polluted, this wisdom gets polluted, then either misconceptions happens to people, a lot of misconceptions. It's one thing to not understand something, and it's a completely different thing to misunderstand something. So a lot of misunderstandings and misconceptions happen if this is not working properly in people. And other than that, lot of illusions, delusions happen. Lot of delusions about God, about life, about who you are. A lot of delusions can happen to people. Who am I? Who you are. Failing to see that everything is changing. Thinking that everything is permanent. Every relationship is for the lifetime. Everything that I have got is for the lifetime. Your life is not even for your lifetime. Forget about everything else. So not being able to see or perceive that everything is impermanent. Not being able to see or perceive that in life, everybody gets three kinds of suffering. Adhyatmic suffering, suffering that we create from within. Okay? Spiritual suffering, you can call it. Suffering that other people give us. And suffering that we experience due to weather or natural disaster or something outside, some unforeseen forces, powers. So three kinds of suffering. So not being able to see that life has these three sufferings and that life is impermanent. Everything that you see around you is impermanent, and that includes your dogs, your pets, your husband, your wife, your children, your relationships, your father, your mother, and everything that you have created. No matter how much permanent it feels, or no matter how much you want them to be permanent, to be for forever, especially the love. People want that to be for forever. Even that is not for forever. Nothing is. So a lot of delusions can be there instead of pure wisdom about life, about universe, about everything else. Instead of having a pure wisdom, quite delusional a person can be. Okay? So this becomes, these things actually gets distorted over the period of time. These things gets distorted while living lifetime after lifetime. It does not happen in just one lifetime. Okay? It happens over the period of many lifetimes. You may see that, you can clearly see that some children have a lot of, they are born with wisdom about life and universe. Anything that is against life, they understand that very clearly. While some other kids are still experimenting with what is against life and what is pro-life. Can this drug, that addiction can be pro-life or against life? They are experimenting with it. They have no serious wisdom of or the conviction of truth within, which says that some things are exactly opposite or against the nature of life that you are. So some kids are born that way. How? Well, they have wisdom, and some are not, some do not. So these things, when gets distorted over the period of lifetime, after living after lifetime, they do not become pure by itself. The only way to purify them, once they get distorted over the period of lifetimes, the only way to purify them is by doing meditation. Okay? By doing serious yoga and meditation and seriously pursuing your tapas, your yogic practices. Next is vairagya. Vairagya means dispassion. Now, for vairagya, I have created one separate video, a long video about it. If you want to watch that, you can watch that. But in a nutshell, dispassion. Dispassion means not even being interested in lot of things that are around you. You see, suppose there is an alcoholic. Okay? So when that alcoholic person is trying to quit alcohol, quit drinking, then he's trying to create reasons in his mind that, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. So in other words, he is creating an aversion because he had an attachment before. So attachment and aversion, these are two states to be for anything that you see around you. Your mind, when you perceive anything, it immediately either goes into attachment mode or it goes into aversion mode. I don't like this. I like that. I like this person. I don't like that person. I like this situation, this event. I don't like that situation, that event. I like this way, I like that way. So all kind of like, dislike, raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion. So immediately whenever you are perceiving life, you are going into that way. But think about that state where you are not interested. You're dispassionate about it. Neither there is a like in you, nor there is a dislike in you. So think of the state of mind of that alcoholic person. So say for example, he stayed quit, and then after a long time he walks in front of the liquor store, and he sees the liquor bottles there, alcohol bottles there, and then he is saying in his mind, no, I don't drink now. So he's reminding himself of his aversion because he has attachment in the first place. But think of those thousands and hundreds of people who don't even care that there is a liquor shop somewhere on that road. They don't see it. If they see it, neither attachment happens, nor any kind of aversion happens, just nothing happens. That is the state of dispassion. They don't even care that it's there. The presence or absence of somebody or something or some situations does not create a state of raga, means attachment in them, or the state of dispassion, or state of aversion in them. So when the absence of the state of attachment and aversion is actually called as dispassion. This is the best state to be in because you're not fighting your mind. But again, when it gets polluted, this state is lost. This is an ideal state to be in. But when this is lost, it is taken over by likes and dislikes, attachments and aversions, cravings and aversions. Okay? About people, about situations, about places, about things, about everything. So this is replaced. Last, and the fourth one is the characteristic of Buddhi is abundance, or you can call it Aishwarya or abundance. Abundance is feeling content about life. That's the biggest content, that's the biggest abundance anybody can have. If a rich person is still very miser, somebody has enough money, but they are living in a very miserly way. And there is lot of greed as well, still running after money. Instead of enjoying what you have, still running after something. That means a person has lost Aishwarya or abundance from within. Or in other words, inner poverty has happened. Inner poverty has happened. Only when a person feels poor from within, that's when they become miser and greedy. Then it does not matter what they have. Life is about running after more. You see how many people feel poor when some days they say, oh, I don't have anything to wear. And they may have their full wardrobe of clothes, yet they are saying, I don't have anything to wear. People have more than 200, 300 pairs of shoes, and yet they say, I have no idea what to wear today. I don't have anything good to wear today. They're running after more. The entire consumerism that you see around you is a result of intellect's characteristic of abundance. Has been mistranslated into the abundance of instead of feeling contentment here, instead of being content here, people understood abundance means having a lot, especially lot more than your neighbor, than your friends. Abundance means having more than anybody else around you. That's what it has translated to. While the real meaning of abundance actually is feeling content. You may have just 5 pairs of clothes or 10 pairs of clothes, but you are content. You are not running after clothes and to new stores that are opening, to new this place and that place and this sale and that sale and here and there for more clothes and for more clothes, as if someday you will become the beauty queen or beauty prince, Prince Charming. Just the clothes will make you Prince Charming. So you see, abundance does not mean more, does not mean a lot. It's about being content. So Buddhi, intellect, has these 4 natural characteristics. This is what Buddhi is going to decide about. Intellect is going to divide every time. The intellect has to choose between poverty and abundance. Every time it has to choose between craving aversions or dispassion. It is going to choose about wisdom or delusion. It is going to choose about that which is righteous versus that which is non-righteous. Buddhi is going to make a decision. Intellect is going to divide and see. But when Buddhi or the intellect becomes polluted in itself, pollution in intellect means all these things, 4 things being polluted. Pollution of intellect, intellect's inability to do the righteous thing, to have the wisdom, truth of life, of universe, to have dispassion within, and to be content about whatever you have, however much you have. So, when these 4 things are become highly pure, 100% purity of these things happen, when nirvikalpa samadhi or enlightenment or self-realization happens, then buddhi becomes buddha. It's buddhi which becomes Buddha. Buddha means enlightened. Enlightened means all these 4 stages, 4 characteristics of your intellect become original, 100% pure. And how do we purify them? Through yoga, through meditation, through understanding the truth of life, studying. Okay, so hope you understand the elements and characteristics of intellect. We'll discuss other things in coming future lectures. Namaste. Jai Shiva.